What is going on, divine beings? Dash Vinny, come back to you all with another video. I want to talk about the planet Saturn for a little bit, and then I want to speak on, like, for the individuals that have Saturn's energy highly aspected. So Saturn energy in your sun, in your moon, or even your rising, and also even if you have Saturn in Mercury, or Saturn aspecting Mercury. So Saturn rules over the zodiac signs Capricorn as well as Aquarius. So if you have Aquarius or Capricorn anywhere near your sun, your moon, your rising, whether it's in a house, whether it's in the actual sign in and of itself, you have Saturn highly aspected. And so with the Saturn energy, I want to speak on Saturn and speak on how Saturn is like the grandfather parent of like all the planets. And so with Saturn's energy, Saturn is like the disciplinary planet. It deals with like how we slow down and how we discipline ourselves and how we receive discipline from society, as well as like our roots, our foundation. So like from your parents in and of themselves. Like if you have Saturn in your sun, your moon, your rising, or Saturn like aspected in your sun, your moon, your rising, like I said, through Capricorn or Aquarius, then you are an individual that had to grow up very quick and had to grow up very fast. And so with this, it kind of gives you like a hard ass energy. Like you're always like the one that has to be responsible. You're always the one that's thinking about what's going to happen down the line. You're always the one that's preparing for things. And whenever you have this energy, it's kind of like these are the people that had to grow up really fast in life, but also with them having to grow up very, very fast in life, it kind of disconnected you from society in a way, or at least it disconnected you from your peers because you're not doing everything that your peers are doing, and you're not moving in the way that all your peers are moving. So it's like it really separates you from the masses. And that's the thing about Aquarius energy. Aquarius energy literally deals with like everything that's unconventional, everything that is unspoken of, everything that is like radical being like of radical is just like changing or having the nature to change very spontaneously without sudden warning. Also with Aquarius energy, it deals with having to slow down within like the recess of our minds and really think out solutions and really think things together for the group, like for the greater good of everyone. And so when you talk about Saturn and Saturn being like the disciplinary planet and it being like our foundations, so if um we're talking about Aquarius, where Aquarius represents like the collective mind because it's an air sign. Air represents the mental and like the processes of the mind in and of that nature. And so like whenever we even talk, we're like literally letting out air, like literally. So air deals with communication for that simple fact. And then even with air, you're able to pass a lot of information very quickly, just for the simple fact that if I light an incense or something, I'm going to smell it in another part of the house very fast. So with the element of air, it deals with not just you, but it deals with everyone that's also around you. So that's why it deals with the collective, because air is very vast and you can't really tie it down, which is why Aquarius deals with like being radical, being of change. And it deals with like I said, the collective. So it deals with like being social on a collective group scale. So when we say collective, we literally just mean group. Also, like with this Aquarius energy, you had to slow down and really think things out a lot in life. And because you had to do this, literally it causes you to see things from newer perspectives, and it causes you to see perspectives that were already there. Because remember, I said it's the foundation, right? Saturn is the planet that deals with foundations. And so that's why you had to think for, it's kind of like you had to think for everybody else that's around you. Because literally, if we're talking about Saturn, Saturn deals with the foundations. It rules over Capricorn, and Capricorn is an earth sign, and earth literally deals with the foundations of the world. Earth element deals with the foundation. It deals with the soil, the hard, dry ground that's underneath your feet, that causes you to walk stably. So it's like you just had to put up with a lot of things. And even if you had like Saturn aspect in your Mercury, Mercury deals with your siblings, because Mercury rules over the zodiac signs Gemini, but it also rules over the zodiac signs Virgo. So Virgo deals with, remember, it's an earth sign. So earth deals with foundations. And if we're talking about foundations, these are things that affect people on a collective scale, because you're not the only one that walks the ground. So earth signs, they just deal with the foundations that, you know, affect other people, and so they care about certain foundations and care about maintaining the value and integrity of those foundations. But particularly Mercury, when Mercury is in Gemini, Gemini is an air sign. Remember I said air signs deal with the collective, a group of people, because it's like it's not just your air that you're breathing. Like when you burn shit in the house, you're not the only one that has to smell that odor of whatever, you know, you're burning. Um and so Mercury, whenever it's in Gemini, like I said, it deals with your siblings, just with the simple fact that air represents communications with people that we don't really have, or Gemini particularly represents communications or ties with people that we didn't really have a control or say in, like having, like you didn't have a say in whether or not you had the siblings that you have. So these are relationships or ties with people that, you know, you didn't have any control over. So if you have Mercury, given that it rules over siblings, if you have Mercury in Saturn, like a Saturn energy, Capricorn or Aquarius, it represents like a restriction of connection to your siblings, just for the simple fact that Earth deals with slowing down. So it's like, remember Gemini is air, so it deals with things happening very quickly. So if you have Earth aspecting, or just Saturn period, even if it's in Aquarius, if you have Aquarius, like, because it comes from Saturn is a planet that deals with restricting, slowing down, whether it's in air or whether it's in earth, because Aquarius is literally the last air sign. So that's why it deals with restrictions as well, because it's the last one. You the oldest air sign really in here. You the OG. You've been holding it down, waiting. You've been waiting your turn to come around, because remember, it's the 11th zodiac sign. So it had to wait all the way to the end until everybody got all their bullshit out the way. So with Saturn in aspect of your Mercury, it's like you have to literally be the one that keeps the whole entire group together. You have to be the one that keeps the siblings together. You have to be the one that has to slow down and really think shit out. Like, y'all, you can't, like, shit won't operate unless you're there. Like, literally, because people get so used to you being the one in control. And so that's literally what I want to speak on, for real. Just Saturn impacting like family dynamics, and also it will kind of separate you from your siblings, just for the simple fact that Saturn, it rules over Capricorn, right? And Capricorn is the 10th zodiac sign. And if we look at the zodiac wheel, we see that Capricorn is like sitting at the top of the wheel, and then Aquarius is directly after it. And so with that, Saturn puts you on the top. Whenever it gets done developing you, it will put you on the top, because you have learned all the lessons that Saturn done through your damn way. Remember I said Saturn is the hard ass planet. It's the grandfather planet. So it's like, we gonna be on your ass until your ass is about 30 some years old, until you really, 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 really grown. Like, so, damn, I don't like that. But anyways, it will separate you from your siblings, just for the simple fact that you have more discipline than them. Even if they do have Saturn in somewhere in their charts, you have more discipline than them, because like you're the oldest. Like, I'm the oldest of my siblings, and I have Saturn aspected in my 4th house, as well as I have Mercury in Aquarius. Not Mercury in Aquarius, but I have Mercury, or my 3rd house in astrology. 3rd house is ruled by Mercury, so that's why I said Mercury. But I have my 3rd house in Aquarius, so it's the oldest. It's the oldest air sign. So it's like, Gemini is a very youthful energy. So it's like, you being this old ass energy around these youthful ass people, these youthful ass beings, it's kind of like, yo, you don't want to have any fun. Yo, you don't want to. So the whole time that you grew up with your siblings, now you never really connected with them. You never really saw shit how they saw it. They always looked at shit from a kid's point of view. They always looked at shit from, like, I was going to say a dummy. Like, because it's like, they just don't piece together information the way that you do. And even when you break shit down to them, they still constantly misunderstand you. It's like Gemini is an air sign. So Gemini deals with the part of the mind that does not sit still that long, and it does not wait around for information to be relayed to it. It likes to pick up on information whenever it wants to. So it's like, no matter how much lessons you try to instill into your siblings, they're not going to give a fuck about it unless it's directly impacting them. And they have to be like, hey, now I see everything that you're talking about. Now it's like, it's